Gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Bikers of Africa podcast. If you may kindly introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name's Animal. I ride for the West Side Riders, probably the best biking club in the world.
Hi, Ziad, aka Zaka, part of, president actually of, and founding member of Excel Presence, also based on the West End. I'm not going to go into the who's the better club, but yeah.
Awesome. So I would guess that you guys are wearing different hats today. Who are you representing?
Today, one of the committee members of the Ubuntu Bikers Breakfast Run for the Gauteng region.
For me, also one of the foot soldiers within the Gauteng Ubuntu committee, part of the organizing committee.
Awesome. Lovely. And what is Ubuntu Run? What are the origins of Ubuntu Run? And what does it stand for? Sorry.
The origins of the Ubuntu Bikers Breakfast Run. I think maybe we'll start there. Debate between you and I as to whether it was 2015 or 2016.
2016.
We still going to get there. But that was the time in which it was started. Why was it started? We live in South Africa. There was segregation amongst different races, different cultures within the biking community. We needed to address that. And as bikers, I think we do more than what we talk. And I think we've done that this time as well. Instead of just talking about unity and brotherhood and sisterhood within our biking community, we put it into action in the best way that we know how, by riding our bikes together.
Awesome. So you mentioned South Africa, but when I look at it, I see many different countries involved. Would you maybe like to, elaborate on that, on how, if it started from South Africa, how did the Eastern African countries, Western African countries get involved in Ubuntu Run?
The word spread. Simple as that. Thank God for social media that we have these days. We didn't have it back in the day. Because of social media, people got to see what it is that we do. And clearly they saw value in it. And word spread. Got over the border, that border crossed another border, that border crossed another border, and it just mushroomed from there. Thank God we didn't have to do any of it. I think the purpose, the authenticity of it, the originality of what it is that we're trying to do, and again, back to the word Ubuntu, it's in the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood, looking after each other, looking out for each other. Clearly there was value in that message, and it spread across the continent, and it seems to be going a little bit further than that now as well.
Awesome. And then you mentioned that this was inspired by the need to unify the biking community, right? Especially along racial divides, right? What I've noticed is some of the countries on the continent were not as divided as South Africans were. You take, for instance, there has been a few runs in Swaziland or eSwatini, for instance, where they would read, the speech of which we'll talk about later, where some parts of the speech, they would look at and say, no, we actually going to remove this portion of the speech because it doesn't relate to us. We don't have any racial tension. We're very unified in the country, so this doesn't it doesn't correlate with the everyday riding lifestyle. You know what I mean? So do you perhaps know how in other countries how Ubuntu Run adds value in different countries on the continent?
divides are not always based, I think, on racial divides. A lot of the times, it's the reality of our lives. It doesn't matter which continent you are in, never mind country. There'll always be cultural differences. If there's not a cultural difference, there's a difference between different biking communities. And I think all of them seen that there is value in this way of doing things as all bikers do. You can talk and talk, but are you going to do something about it? Are you going to act? Are you going to physically try to fix it? And this is the best way to do it.
Awesome.
Bring each other together. That's right.
So it's practically nothing but a ride. So different bikers from different corners of a province, of a city, of a country, they come together and just have breakfast with other bikers that they would ordinarily not break a bit of bread with. Is that basically it?
Absolutely. I think that's the key value of the Ubuntu Run, is that it's not a traditional bike rally or a bike run or a function. There is no monetary gain to be gotten out of this. It's purely just a ride.
So there's no merchandise or badges that bikers need to pay for?
Nothing.
On the day?
Nothing.
So bikers don't touch their pockets on the day?
Nothing, besides buying a beer and a breakfast.
Okay.
Well, a Coke and a breakfast.
All right.
No, absolutely zero money. That's one of the key elements that's managed to keep the Ubuntu Run going as long as what it has, is that there's honor in it. There's truth to what it is that we're doing. We're not doing it for money. Not even merchandising. We're not selling T-shirts. We're not selling caps. We're not selling anything. All that we're asking you to do is to come and ride with your brothers and sisters. Simple as that.
Awesome. And on your side, Zika, your involvement in Ubuntu Run, when did it start? How did it start?
So, I got involved with Ubuntu. My first interaction with it was in 2016. A group of guys wanted to do a breakfast run. Heard about a mass run that was happening on a particular Sunday at Honda West Rand. Went there. It was the Ubuntu Run. First introduction to it. Was in awe with the amount of bikers firstly that pulled up. There was no color differentiation from the white, black, richest, poorest. Everybody was there. Everybody was on their bike. And from there, I think 2 years later, because I've seen the value in it and how the unity amongst the different individuals are, eventually got involved with the committee, the organizing component of it. And it's literally been a passion of, a labor of love, basically, all the way through, because it's one way of changing the world.
Awesome. And then what type of bikes are allowed to participate in the run?
As long as it has two wheels, it's a bike.
Even a 50cc?
Even a 50cc. If you have a set of wheels, a helmet, you're good to go. You're a brother. You're a sister.
And the bike needs to be roadworthy.
Sorry. Also bikes with 3 wheels.
All right. And then what does it take to organize a run of this magnitude?
Wow.
What's under the hood?
Wow.
Lots of effort.
Lots of effort, lots of sweat, lots of personal sacrifice, many hours of back and forth. If you're not into this for the passion, willing to be an absolute soldier, then it's not for you to be on the committee. Please join us on the run. But if you want to be part of the committee, you must be prepared to work, sweat, sacrifice.
And how big is the committee?
Currently, I think in total for the Gauteng leg, probably about 15 to 20 people of all different kinds, all different clubs, all different councils. Nobody gets paid. It's pure passion. Like Zikr says, it's a labor of love.
Yeah, and then when you look at the numbers, right? Because I think Gauteng has one of the biggest numbers as the biggest amount of bikes. Followed by by Cape Town, and then Durban, right? Do you think that those numbers are a true reflection of, the number of bikes that are out there, on the continent? I mean, on the province.
I don't think it's anywhere near the number of bikes that are in each province. I think we're still just scratching the tip of the iceberg. Give you an idea, in Gauteng, it's varied anything from between 800 to 1,500 bikes have been part of the run. Every single year we seem to grow. We know that the motorcycling community and the industry itself has been in a very difficult place. So bike sales have not been as hot as what they were before.
What else is under the hood of Ubuntu Run? Can you tell us more about, everything from preparation, triumphs, challenges, you name it. What else is out there, under the Ubuntu Run banner?
As you can imagine, it's no small feat getting this run organized successfully and safely. The behind the scenes work is actually quite phenomenal. We're blessed in the fact that we've got so many people who are passionate about this run and who are prepared to volunteer their time and efforts, as well as finances. A little bit of blood, sweat and tears as well thrown in there. That's the kind of passion that it takes in order to get this thing going every single year and to maintain it and to give it the consistency that it has had over the last couple of years. Obviously involvement from different brands, if possible. That's been one heck of a challenge up until now as well, is to try to find people within industry that see value in this thing, both for the communities within which they work, the broader biking community, as well as for ourselves. And I think that's a key element of it. Without these volunteers and people who love what they do, who are passionate about it, Zucker mentioned earlier, it's a labor of love, and if it isn't, this thing would never have succeeded as much as what it currently has. Don't know if you'll agree with that.
No, I do agree with that. And maybe some of the things that as a committee we actually sit and discuss is, where do we start? And that's the point around getting the appropriate venue to kick off. In the past, it's always been a bike dealership, same as this year. This year we've got a partner as well, which is BMW 4Ways. And then the big debate happens. Where do we go to? The venue needs to meet certain requirements.
What are those requirements?
So for us, the thing is, it must be able to cater for plus minus 1,000 people. The service that the venue will provide needs to obviously meet the need. And we have a lot of discussions around with the end venue in terms of, can you accommodate 1,000 people? We know we're going to come with a huge lump of people once off. Can you cope with the load? Because people don't want to come to a venue and actually be waiting an hour for food. So, I mean, those are some of the debates that we have with the respect. And we try to choose a venue that is different from previous years. What we've done is we go to the Kasi one year, and we go somewhere else. And we try to alternate it all the time so that we do give back to the communities. We then obviously show them other areas. Sometimes individuals have never been to the Kasi, and we actually take them to the Kasi to actually see what it's about.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, because that's one of the cool elements of this run. Being to Vosloorus took some people who've never been to Vosloorus before. Went to the Voortrekker Monument. I'd never been to the Voortrekker Monument in my life before. I was blown away by the place. A spectacular place. Been to all sorts of corners of Gauteng so far. So in other words, one of the cool things in doing that is that you get to get people to go outside of their comfort zones, which is essentially what the Ubuntu Run does. You're trying to get people to communicate in a way and relate to each other in a way that they've never done before. So you have some guys going into Ukasi who've never seen where black people live before. There was a huge a question mark around us going to the Voortrekker Monument in the beginning. What are we going to go and do there with black people? The guys loved it. It's a part of our history. It's part of our culture. It's part of South Africa. You should be able to do anything from Alex to Santa. And that's the purpose of the Ubuntu Run, is get people to start challenging themselves about misconceptions within different communities. Pretty cool thing to do.
Totally awesome. So tell me, are there any stakeholders involved?
So every year the stakeholders change. We try to keep it fresh that way. Let's start off with the beginning, the start venue. Originally it was, and I'm going to make mention of these places by name because they saw the value in this thing and took a chance by supporting us. Bikers Warehouse has hosted us for many, many years. Fantastic group of people, didn't charge us a cent to do it, purely out of passion and love, as we were mentioning earlier on. Honda Westland, in the beginning, absolutely spectacular. One person in particular that was between the two and that has always been part of the Ubuntu Run is Helena. I think a lot of guys know Helena. Big shout out to Helena. When it got to Bikers Warehouse, Kerry from Bikers Warehouse and Mike from Bikers Warehouse took this thing on and owned it in their own special way. We hope that there was some feedback back to them from a commercial point of view. This year we are following Rochelle at BMW Fourways. It's a new venue for us. It's another fresh start. To give you an idea again, from the end venue where we go and have some breakfast or something like that, even that we try to change, chop up and change every single year, keep that fresh. Take people out of their comfort zones, get some white guys to go to Ukasi, go and see what it's like. Get some black guys to go to the Voortrekker Monument, never done before. Was fantastic. I'd never been. I learned something about that place. I hope people do learn a little bit more about each other and each other's cultures. From a support point of view, you asked earlier on, the manufacturers, the ones that I've just mentioned, those are on an individual basis. For some reason, we still haven't managed to get the full attention of Ahmed within our country. I think that's a sad thing. It's something we need to work on, both ourselves as well as the members of the Ahmed committee. They need to see that there is value in the Ubuntu Run for themselves too, never mind just what they can do to support us as a community.
I think you would have to maybe explain who Ahmed is, because I don't think a lot of people are familiar with the acronym.
Sure. So Ahmed stands for Association of Motorcycle Importers and Distributors.
What do they do?
So those are all the brands within South Africa that work within the motorcycling community. The industry, if I can put it that way. Suzuki, Honda, BMW, Triumph, Kawasaki, Yamaha, all of them are here. Sorry, forgot to mention, we actually did leave from Yamaha Cheese Factory out in Woodmead. We did that for 2 years.
Okay.
So they did support us from that
The
point of view.
cheese factory.
It's called the Cheese Factory.
Ah.
Yeah. So they've not yet seen the value.
That's World of Yamaha for those who don't know, right?
World of Yamaha for those who don't know.
Sure.
Absolutely. And we hope that one day, based on the longevity of this thing and the fact that we are still here, debatably 8 or 9 years later, and we still haven't seen much support from them as an industry. We have been given support so far from individual bike outlets, as I've mentioned, but no, not on an official basis yet from industry.
What type of support do you need, and why do you think you're not getting that kind of support?
I don't know.
And have they been reached out to?
Every single year we reach out to them.
Okay.
Even this year, as an example, there is an Ahmed function happening on exactly the same day as the Ubuntu Run. Not a dig at you guys, not in any way. But please understand that it does put another hurdle in our way that we actually don't really need. If we were able to support each other the way that we would support you guys within the industry, it would be fantastic. Take us seriously. We are your clients. Even just come and have a conversation with us. I guarantee you, you will find value. What is it that we want from Ahmed? We don't want your money. We don't want anybody's money. That's one of the key elements of the Ubuntu Run is not a single rand gets exchanged between anybody. You don't pay to be part of the Ubuntu Run. You don't get paid to be a part of the Ubuntu Run. It is only driven by pure passion and love, nothing else. So what do we want from industry? We're just looking for consistency from start venues. We want that to be an easier process for us. Every single volunteer and soldier that is on the committee of the Ubuntu Run, all across Africa, all across every single province within our country, is only done by volunteers. It's blood, sweat and tears on our behalf. And the truth of it is that the longer the Ubuntu Run runs, the more we need the support from industry because they're the professionals in this game. All of us have jobs that we go to every single day, and then after this we've got to go and try and put this thing together. This is your industry. You've got marketing divisions that we could make use of. We've got flyers and banners that we're creating on our own. We don't have the professional skills that sit within industry that we could maybe tap into.
Do you think this is an issue that is Gauteng specific, or is it South Africa specific, or is it continental?
I think it's
issue?
worldwide.
Worldwide.
Absolutely.
So look, Ubuntu Run, as we well mentioned, right? It's not a miniature event; it's a huge event, probably the biggest, breakfast run in the world, right? Arguably, logically, right? You would want to have some of the guys that you've mentioned, kind of show a bit of presence, and support and so on, right? Look, I've seen those efforts in the past, right? Where I think about 2 years ago, especially at Bikers Warehouse, where there was a whole array of certain manufacturer brands present, right? And then the next year they're not there. You know what I mean? So it puzzles me honestly. Why it's not fully supported. I mean, there hasn't been any issues regarding, any misbehavior of any sort, around the run, because as we well mentioned, I mean, it's a run that starts from point A to point B. In my experience, Ubuntu Run is 3, 4, 5 at the most, our experience, right? From the time where bikers meet, as at a predetermined venue, as we discussed earlier this year, it'll be at, 4 Ways Motor Ride. Meet at 8, leave at 9, right? The ride will probably take you an hour, for you to settle, to settle down at the next venue. You're talking about maybe 3 hours already spent. You order your breakfast, you spend another hour, and then you're done, right? And the misconception that people have, and also something that I've seen as a challenge, right, is people now look forward more to the end venue, or is it a cool end venue and so on. I think, our fellow bikers are missing a point, right, of what the run is all about. The run is basically you participate in Ubuntu Run. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? You participate in Ubuntu Run to say that, the LHNR that we all preach, that we all say we stand for. This is one particular day. LHNR, for those who are not familiar with the acronym, stands for loyalty, honor, and respect, right? Most bikers, especially patch-wearing bikers, believe that that's the backbone. That's the code that they live by, right? So Ubuntu Run has become that run where
we practice what we preach.
You practice what you preach, and then it brings everyone together from government entities to manufacturers to your patch-wearing rider to your off-road rider, racetrack rider, you name it, right? So it's become a symbol of unity, right? Hence the slogan, "Ride in Unity," and you must correct me if I'm wrong, right? So it takes a whole lot of effort, to put something like that together, right? And you would think that this is something that most bikers would embrace, most bikers would want, most manufacturers would embrace, and stand for. You know what I mean? So, not that Ubuntu Run is I'm not at all saying that it's lacking in any way, but it could do a whole lot better had it had the support and consistent support of manufacturers and other bikers. Because what I've also realized is, we have had conversations with other leaders in biking. From council level and club level and so on, to relay the message to their fellow club members, about the run. Some of them don't do that. You know what I mean? So the question is, I know I asked you earlier, that why do you think, manufacturers manufacturers haven't fully supported a run that is so monumental, you know what I mean, that is so significant? Why haven't they supported it fully? I know it sounds, it's the same question in a different way, but there's a few, aspects of what constitutes the run that I've touched on, and I would like you to touch a bit on those questions.
And I think the truth is, I don't know. We've asked the question before. We've approached Ahmed. I myself have sat on an Ahmed board once in one of their meetings. We've shared the information with them. We've asked them. I'll give you one as an example. You realize that we've been using industry and their premises as a launch for every single Ubuntu Run up until now. That's because we're trying to practice what we preach. That in itself is Ubuntu. We could quite easily have done it from a petrol station or from some other kind of a venue. But we've specifically chosen industry to show them that we are here to support them as well. Every single launch venue that we've had in the past has benefited to some degree or the other from having 1,000 odd people at their venue every single Ubuntu Run. It's practice what you preach. It is Ubuntu. Give you an example. Let's talk about the end venues. Let's take industry out of the conversation, just so that we can try to understand the broader concept of what is the issue here. Why aren't people joining? The amount of value that we bring to small business as the end venue is phenomenal. 1,000 odd people coming to the venue at the same time. I know it's one hell of a challenge. You're not getting these people over a couple of hours. You're getting them all at the same time. You've got to produce 1,000 drinks. You've got to produce 1,000 plates of food to eat all at once. But it's worth the effort for them because they get the kind of turnover in a couple of hours that they normally would expect within a week or in a month in some instances. The Chisinyamas that we've done in some of the Kasis have probably had a greater turnover in that particular time than they've ever had since they started. Those are good stories to have. We don't charge them to do that. We don't charge bike or industry itself in order to launch from their venues. All that we're asking for is support us in trying to get this message out there in a real meaningful way.
So that being said, right? Do you think that the issue that you're raising, is it Gauteng specific? Because what I've noticed is other provinces and other countries, right? They adopt the same format, right, of Ubuntu Run, but not to the T, right? It's still Ubuntu Run, but they're not solely dependent on manufacturers. Maybe it's an issue of they don't have that privilege that we have here, of having so many manufacturers, situated in one province, maybe, the headquarters of most manufacturers. I was chatting to some of the guys in Angola, right? And the guy, the first coordinator that we reached out to, he, out of his pocket, he's the one that buys the badges, right? He sponsors, all the giveaways, so it does vary, from country to country, in terms of there's certain intricacies there that differ, right? For instance, Gauteng. I'll make Gauteng, use Gauteng again as an example. We decided a long time ago that we will move from region to region. So if it's in the West Rand this year, next year it'll go to Pretoria. The other year it'll go to the East Rand, and then you go to a neighboring country and then it's the same route all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. The message is the same, da, 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 da. You know what I mean? So my question is, I know I went a long way around it, but my question is it upon us, right, to ask the questions that we're asking, to say to manufacturers that, look at the magnitude of this event. Why you not, why you're not participating? How come you're not getting involved? Right. That's basically the crux of the question, because, like I said, other provinces, other countries, they couldn't care less.
I think one of the key factors as to why that is simple demographics, geography. Gauteng is a pretty big city compared to all the other cities on the continent. Cape Town, I think, is similar to what we are. I think KZN is also similar to what we are. From a industry size amount of motorcycles within that particular community, I don't think you'll find as many bikers in smaller towns across the entire continent. So it's always going to be a case of demographics and geography. But I think maybe let me touch on one as an example. I'll use BMW as an example. We've put a lot of intelligence and research into this community and this industry that we are operating within. BMW just happens to have the biggest footprint on the African continent. I'm hoping it's something that they're going to see value in the future. I'm hoping that the Ubuntu Run can bring BMW and all their dealerships a little bit closer to each other than what they currently are. I don't think they are as connected as a brand as what they'd like to think that they are. The fact that they have the biggest footprint across the African countries is a phenomenal thing. Can you imagine if we were able to launch from a single dealership, supported by them, giving them back all the kudos that we possibly can by supporting their brands across the continent? Again, the word Ubuntu comes back into play, and it helps the brand itself. It creates loyalty amongst communities. Let's take brands out of the conversation now. Let's talk about the traffic department as a simple example. Never before in South Africa have we had relations between biking communities and the traffic officers that sometimes chase them on the highway.
Yeah.
That's a cool story. We've made friends with the guys that are now our caretakers on this breakfast run. We do the dry run the week before. We get to sit and find out who these people, they're bikers. They might be wearing a uniform, but they're there to look after us. They then also get to see a different side of us, not just this hooligan perceived persona of bikers. They get to see us as real citizens. And I think it's something that's has good value in it. I've personally never had the opportunity to interact with them the way that we have. You can even take it a step further, I think, maybe with the guys that are involved with the ambulances. Our MECs that come and sit and talk to us and so on. Never ever would they have had the opportunity to sit and talk to bikers and understand who it is that we are. They just see these guys with patches and with these loud motorcycles. There's value in it. Always we get back to the expression, Ubuntu. I am because you are. It doesn't have only to do with money. It's It's such a simple word, but it's such a powerful word.
So, a last repeat of my question, right? I think we are yet to identify what it is that we need. You know, do we need any sort of resources, right? Or do we just need presence? You know what I mean? Because I mean, in my opinion, I think presence is also good enough. Like I said, there was a year, you know, where we did, Ubuntu Run, and there was a whole array of different manufacturers that were involved. Sometimes it's good to know that, you know what, these guys they've got our back.
We were excited to see that year.
You know,
and kudos to Bikers Wales for putting it together at that time. Unfortunately, the next year it wasn't.
Yeah. All right. I think that's that. Unless if there's anything else that you guys want to add, we've got one other coordinator in Gauteng that still needs to have a bit of a chat and his experiences of Ubuntu Run and a manufacturer representative, of course. So I don't know if is there anything in closing that you would like to touch on?
One of the guys, sorry, that I didn't add. Now the cool part of the story, councils that got to start speaking to each other and riding with each other when ordinarily they wouldn't have been able to. Not just councils within Gauteng, but councils across the country. I think it has strengthened the bond between us. And again, it's a good thing.
Awesome. Like I said, I mean, this run has become a symbol of unity. You know what I mean? So if there's any biker out there who wants to be seen or put their name down as one who stands for unity in biking, it's just by merely participating in the run. You know what I mean? Before I walked in here, I was told by Roche that the Crusaders were here to do a bit of site evaluation. It's good to see that they'll be supporting. I know they supported 2 years before and it was magnificent. We went to Soweto, ended up at Ubuntu Kral and a few of the members that I had spoken to, they enjoyed it, they loved it, so it's a good thing that it'll be coming back. And I think that sends a strong message, you know what I mean, because between all clubs, whether you're an MC, MCC, 1%, you name it, to come together on the same day and really symbolize that you do stand for unity, because that's, for me, like I said, that's what it stands for. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I think that's an important point to touch on, the bigger clubs, because there are some really, really big clubs out there in South Africa. It's a new phenomenon for us here in our biking community. It's clubs of this sort of magnitude. Let's mention the other clubs: the Max, the Hells Angels, Crusaders, Immortal Guardians, 45s, all the bigger clubs. It's great to see that on that day we are all just bikers. I think the beauty of the Ubuntu Run is, even for Joe Public, all you see is a guy on a bike with a helmet on. You can't tell whether he's black, you can't tell whether he's white, you can't tell if he's rich, poor, if he's from a big club or a small club. He's on that day as equal as any other biker that's out there. And that's a critical aspect of the Ubuntu Run. So having all of those guys here for this year, super excited. Can't wait for the footage. It's going to look awesome.
Lovely. Zika, anything in closing from your side?
No, I think the main thing is, if you haven't been on the Ubuntu Run, try it out. You might like it.
Awesome.
Give it a shot.
Thank you. Thanks for your time, gentlemen. I guess I'll see you guys on the last Sunday of January. Welcome, lady and gent. Welcome to the Bikers of Africa podcast. If you may kindly introduce yourselves.
My name is Rochelle. Where do I even start? I ride with the nuns, but I work at BMW as well, BMW Fourways, where this whole thing will be starting from.
Oh, lovely.
Right, yeah, my name is Tato Makhari, and I'm known as Voodoo in the riding circles, and I'm a member of Desperados, MCCSA.
Okay. And starting with you, Voodoo, what is your role in Ubuntu Run?
So I'm part of the Gauteng Coordinating Committee, and yeah.
Okay. And I asked the question earlier that what's really under the hood, of Ubuntu Run. Is there anything that you would particularly like to add on as far as organizing, a run of this magnitude?
Not necessarily. Perhaps maybe a better involvement of industry, maybe having also a bigger number of bikers.
Sure. And if I can just come in, sorry to cut you short, right? When we talk numbers, we're not saying that this is a run that's poorly attended. It's very well attended. All we're saying is that it can do a whole lot better. Am I right in saying so?
True.
Yeah, because I mean, if you, it's not every day that you have over 1,000 bikes lined up, for a particular course, right? Because I think this is transcended, being just a run. There's a course behind the run. You know what I mean? So when we talk numbers, we know that in a particular province, in a particular region, the numbers that participate in the run can be a whole lot more. Sorry, I did cut you short, but I just wanted to have that input.
Yeah. So we want, specifically for Gauteng, which I represent, we want to see more bikers. We want to see industry getting involved. And maybe the bigger picture of Ubuntu, we want this to be a global run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not just Africa.
Okay.
We want to see the other continents participating.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the one common thing that we have is the bike.
Okay.
And the love of motorcycles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Lovely. And Rosh, your involvement as a dealership.
So as a dealership, Ubuntu, the committee came to us and asked us, can we do this thing from the dealership? Because I think there's a lot of BMWs involved in the ride. And why not? So why not get involved in something big like this? Because in 10 years' time, there'll be footprints that will be made. So it won't be just maybe our dealership, it will be other dealerships that will take part as well, because they'll see what it entails, what's involved, as in bikers coming to your circle, put it that way, to your dealership, leaving from your dealership. I mean, we don't only have dealerships in South Africa, we have dealerships across. So like Voodoo was saying, he wants it to go international, so there's BMWs all over the world. So why can't we start here?
Okay, so what is it that that bikers can look forward to? The moment that they arrive, at your dealership.
Well, hopefully we'll have a nice atmosphere, because everybody must come in a good mood and a good vibe, because it's to meet other bikers. You're not just here to just come and do a ride. You're here to meet other bikers. So you meet other people. I mean, we definitely will have some coffee out for them. We hopefully I'll bake the muffins properly.
You'll bake the muffins.
I'm going to bake the muffins for everybody.
Okay.
So we get muffins and coffee stands.
Okay.
And like I said, a nice vibe with the DJ and, outside.
Have you baked for Voodoo before? I see him give a certain type of laugh, Are you sure?
We bake.
Proper, okay.
I'm from the nuns, we bake. Come on, guys.
All right.
Yeah, so just a good vibe. Come with a good personality and come and meet everybody that's on the run with you.
Okay. All right. And then what else? What else did I want to ask? I think the question is also directed to Voodoo, right? There's provincial, there's community safety involved. There's RTMC involved. I'm more interested in, because people need to know that, to pull off a run, you don't just wake up today and start calling people and say, let's go on a run. It is a breakfast run, but it's not an ordinary breakfast run, right? So what is it that's involved in that process of, ensuring that, everything runs in order? What is the role of community safety, first of all, on the run?
Yeah, so MEC Faith Mazibuko, the MEC for Public Safety,
okay,
has been a part of the Ubuntu Run, in the sense that she supports us with her team, the traffic cops, and they provided some material for us in the past, where we had end venues that didn't have, amenities. So they were there to assist us. But more importantly is the traffic support that we get out of public safety. But this year we've also gone beyond, and we invited MEC Nomantu Raleho. We've requested EMS support in the form of an ambulance, because you can't organize such a big run without having medical support. In case something happens,
yeah,
we need that medical support.
And shout out to the Crusaders. I think 2 years ago, one of their members, took care of that little thorn on our side. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge them. I know we did the last time. But yes, it's good to know that, it's now coming from another organized structure.
Yeah, last year we had Press Zika and Mariners taking cash out of their own pockets, to fund the ambulance backup that we had for the 2023 run. So
that was last year,
that
right?
was last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So we also thank them for, for that contribution, because that was a selfless move.
Okay.
To take money out of your pocket and contribute towards, a bikers event.
Yeah.
They could have put the money to some other good use.
All right. I think the first episode we got hit by load shedding. I think it's happened again. Is it load shedding?
It's not load shedding.
Is it not?
Everybody sitting still, so the lights are gone off.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Can we get a bit of movement so that we can get the lights on?
The sensors need to.
Yeah?
Where's the sensor?
Because it's 6 o'clock. Are you sure it's not load shedding?
No, there's no load shedding. We don't have load shedding.
It's on the dot, right?
We've got a backup generator.
We switch off it.
Huh? Okay. Is there any other aspect of Ubuntu Run that you would want the general public or fellow bikers to be aware of?
Perhaps the general public, because we close off intersections, we close off on ramps, we close off ramps, and I think for the past 2, if not 3 runs, we've had to go on the N3 and the R21, R24, all roads that lead towards the airport. And people are on a Sunday morning, you would be thinking there's no traffic, and you'll just take your time to get to the airport if you're flying out. So if the public can just note that on that day, there will be a bit of traffic congestion and blockages here and there. And of course, we have the traffic cops who are assisting us, who are empowered to do that with our marshals, MMISA
Sure.
team helping us to block off and close off the roads.
And what route will be used this year?
So this year we're using, obviously when we leave BMW 4-ways, we will join the Winnie Mandela. We'll join the Winnie Mandela, and then we'll go on the N1 South. We will get onto the N12, R24, R21, N1, all the way towards Pretoria. and we'll come back towards Joburg on the N1, and we're going to off-ramp at, I speak under correction if I say it's Brakfontein,
Okay.
in Midrand, where we are going to our end venue, Primeview.
Okay.
Yeah, just behind midstream.
Sure.
And you know it's between midstream and Tembisa.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how many bikers are you guys expecting this year?
On average in Gauteng we have plus minus 1,000 bikers at the go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any other thing that bikers would need to know? Someone who's never participated in the run. Is there any sort of preparation, anything that they need to prepare to be part and parcel of the run?
All right. So number one, please have a full tank.
Okay.
From wherever you're leaving, have a full tank of gas, so that you don't have to stop on the road. We don't want to disturb the formation as we move in there. We have a Facebook page where we have shared the meeting points from across Gauteng.
What's the name of the page?
So it's the Ubuntu Run Bikers Facebook page. You'll correct me, NK.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's the Ubuntu Run.
Africa Ubuntu Breakfast Run. Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we have meeting points. We will have a number of the coordinators moving off from those specific points. If you're coming from Pretoria, there'll be somebody from Pretoria. If you're coming from the south of Jozi, the east, you name it.
Okay.
From the Val, we have people who will be coming through from those areas who you are going to meet up with. You will come here as a group and we will all ride as one mass towards Primeview.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else that you, because we're about to close, is there anything else that you guys would want to add? During the last preparations, I think we just left with about a week and a half of preparations. Is there anything else that you would want to put out there regarding the run?
Well, besides looking forward to a beautiful ride, I think we are still concerned as the ABBF. I need to put it out there. We're still concerned on the number of accidents and fatalities we are seeing as the leadership.
Yeah,
in biking.
but this is in general. Outside of Ubuntu Run. This is just as a collective.
Yes.
You are addressing an issue to the collective leadership.
Yes.
Of biking. This is probably the next step to take. If I'm hearing you correctly.
Yeah.
All right.
And why I'm saying that is, of course, we know last year we had a fatality after the run in the evening.
Okay.
And so biker safety must be of the utmost.
Okay.
From when you leave your house at home, when you say goodbye to the family. We also want to hear you saying, guys, on the WhatsApp group, saying, guys, I'm home safe.
Okay.
Yeah. So biker safety is of the utmost.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in closing, Rosh?
No, I think everybody must just come with a good attitude to enjoy the ride. There's no specific bike required that you need to have. It's a run for everybody.
Okay.
So come with your best attitude and come and meet people in like-minded people.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, awesome. I think for me, in closing, I know this might have seemed like a Gauteng specific, or Gauteng focused recording, but the underlying tone and objective is the same, right? It's just that on this particular episode, we were just addressing some of the issues encountered here in Gauteng. As time, goes on, I'll be able to connect with other provinces, virtually or physically, and hear what their challenges are, because the purpose of this episode was just to dispel certain myths around Ubuntu Run and affirm, certain, understandings, around Ubuntu Run. So I think down in the comment section of this episode, if there's any other information needed or if there's any clarity that's needed, with regards to the run on the 28th of January, right? It's the 28th, Sunday the 28th, right? So that's when Ubuntu Run happens. All provinces, different countries, same day, one run, riding in one spirit. The only exceptions are, some of the Arabic countries like Egypt. I know they host their Ubuntu Run on a Saturday, so they do theirs first, and then we do ours a day after. So yeah, long story short, or in closing.
Before you close.
Say again?
Before you close.
I said before you close.
Oh, before I close.
I think we have to also recognize the efforts by our own media within biking.
Okay.
The likes of Superbike magazine.
Okay.
Remember
Clinton's
involvement.
Hey, Clinton.
Back then,
Clinton is pushing it strong there in Cape Town as well.
Yes.
I know he's part of the organizing committee that side.
Yeah, so
shout
we have
out
to
Clinton.
recognize that.
Yeah.
Of course, Bikers of Africa.
Baza Mashem.
And the likes of your Kasi biking.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so we appreciate those efforts.
Yeah.
And
ZA Bikers has also, they've done a couple of features as well.
yeah.
And once again, we just highlighting, we just focused, more focused on Gauteng, right? I know there are other independent media, publications in other provinces.
Yeah.
Durban has got their own, Cape Town, I think IOL, although IOL has got a bit of a national footprint, I think, but there's always those independent, publications who, year in, year out, support Ubuntu Run. We'll give you the necessary kudos and shout out, once we come closer to your province. And thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, is there any other thing that needs to be mentioned before we go?
No, we're looking forward to the run. We're looking forward to the cookies that Ross is going to be making for us. Yeah, and
I've got a feeling, man. We've baked for it before.
You know something that you don't.
yeah. We hope they will have the biggest number of bikers at a go here at BMW Forwards Motorrad
Sure.
than ever before.
I think for the first time since the inception of the run, Cape Town is going to come out leading. I had a peep at the.
Is it because you're from Cape Town?
No, I'm a Gautenga. Look, I always tell people that my mind is in Jozi, but my heart is in Cape Town, right? but the reason I'm saying what I'm saying is I saw the amount of badges that they've ordered, and it's like almost double. And they've always, like I said, they've always come second to Gauteng.
They're trying to outdo us.
And now they've ordered double. And a very close second. Yeah, no, I think Cape Town is going to show us.
That's good competition.
Let's see how it all pans out. But yeah, no, thank you so much for your time and everyone else out there. I hope, like I said, I hope certain myths have been dispelled about the run. That this is a product of the biking community. It's not owned by anyone, right? It's something that was created to unify bikers, right? To create an environment. It's basically an environment created for you to ride with a person that you would ordinarily not cross paths with and ride with and break bread with, you know what I mean? So yeah, hope everyone out there comes out in numbers and have this type of experience for themselves. So that's it. That's it from us. Thank you, lady and gent.
Thanks.
Pleasure,
Okay.
Thanks.
Awesome.